Everyone's having a fabulous Sunday morning. I am coming on because I just had a couple questions. I'm cooking breakfast or getting ready to cook brunch. And one of the things that was on my mind this morning, one of my sons said to me, he's like, Mom, I think that cooking is one of your love languages. And I thought about what he was saying and about how much I really do think that cooking for the people I love is definitely a love language. Hey, Aria Estelle. Hi, sweetheart. And yes, I'm drinking wine without the mimosa part in it yet. I'm sending my son to the store to get me some orange juice. Good morning, everybody, as you're coming on. Aria Estelle, I've been watching so many of your videos lately. They've been transforming my life. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate your support. I'm so happy that they're helping you. I really just came on this morning to see how everybody is doing. I'm over here just lifing. Good morning. Getting ready to make some brunch and just thought about you guys, thought about how everyone is doing this morning and this weekend. You know, it's 4th of July weekend. I know that it's really easy to feel at these times if you feel like you're not able to do. Thank you so much, DJ. You look radiant, girl. Thank you so much, love. That sometimes on holidays and you see people celebrating, you see people traveling, you see people doing all this stuff, you start to feel like, you know, oh, I wish I could have done this. I wish I could do that. Or you feel maybe a little isolated or alone. And just know that times change, things will change, things will get better. This weekend, as I've sat here, Rashida, it's your 50th birthday. Oh my God, love bug. Congratulations. Happy birthday, beautiful. I love you. Happy, happy birthday, sweetheart. Rashida, you were around from Godly Girls Club. Make sure you sign up for Love Out Loud. We're getting ready to launch, or we have launched in Atlanta, and we're actually forming street teams all over the world. So in your city, in a country near you, make sure you sign up for Love Out Loud, because it definitely is going to be a large movement, just like Gigi's. Amber, Yolanda, the Clue Channel. Hello, 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 everyone. Eugene. Hey, everybody, as you're coming on. Look, guys, I didn't really want nothing. I didn't even have a whole lot to say this morning. I'm just coming on to say hello as I'm sitting here cooking brunch this morning for Carrie and my sons, the unmarried ones, and getting ready to make some potatoes, some fried potatoes and some mashed potatoes and not mashed potatoes, fried potatoes and some eggs and some fruit and of course mimosas. All my family's grown now, y'all. So I'm just getting ready to do a little bit of cooking this morning. You guys, when I'm not working, when I'm not writing books and creating courses and doing videos, I'm taking care of my family. I'm cooking and spending time with the people I love the most. A long time ago, I created a vision or an idea of what I wanted my life to look like, and I knew that I wanted work-life balance. I knew that I wanted to be able to be a mother, a wife, eventually a grandmother, that I would have time for family. And my business endeavors and my business ambition and goals, you know, took me off in directions that caused me to end up being very stressed, very overwhelmed. And I didn't realize that sometimes we can create goals that can take us in the opposite direction of what we really want in life. I've always wanted balance. I have never, of course, you know, I've always wanted wealth and abundance, prosperity financially, but I also want an abundance of love and friendship and great friends that are like sisters, and time with my family, my children, and time to vacation. And I think sometimes we can set goals and we don't realize, because we live in a society that tells everybody, you can have it all. And specifically speaking to the women right now, I've learned in my journey that, honestly, that's kind of hard. It's very hard to do. If you're chasing really, really ambitious, driven goals and you're wanting to, um, make $2 million a month, and you also want to be married and you want to have children and you want to, I think at this point, we have begun to stack the cards so high. We've begun to stack the deck like against us in such a way that, we are just striving for so much, and we put so much pressure on ourselves to perform, at these levels. And it's really, really difficult, right? You end up putting so much pressure on yourself that you end up going in the opposite direction of what you truly desire to have. And I had to get honest with myself at a certain point and say, Rebecca, what about balance in all these other areas of life, right? I love to cook. I absolutely love to cook. My youngest son said, Mom, I think, cooking is like a whole love language. And I know that cooking for me is definitely one of my love languages. I love to cook for the people I love. And, for years, I was so busy that I didn't cook. I wasn't cooking very often. Carrie and I were eating out constantly. Sorry, guys. My son went through the garage and my puppies are having a fit. Haley, hush. I wasn't cooking very much, right? And that affects your overall health if you're eating out. And even though we were eating out at very good restaurants and overall, making healthy choices as much as possible at restaurants, the reality is that eating out is not as healthy as cooking at home, especially when you cook healthy at home, right? So I was like, wait a minute, as I got back into balance, back into what really, really matters to me, I started finding balance in business, balance in love, balance in health. And all of these things are really, really important. This is what abundant life looks like, is having the time for things that matter most to you. So I just wanted to come on and share and talk about what I was doing today, not from any like teaching perspective or anything, or, not a message to share. Right now, I'm focused on Love Out Loud, and we're getting Love Out Loud launched, and we have a new leadership master certification coming that's absolutely going to be so badass for the women and men who are spiritual warriors and want to get their coaching business going as well. So you're spiritual and you're entrepreneurial. I'm looking for spiritual powerhouses who want to partner with me in this next phase. So that'll be releasing soon. Yeah. So just another weekend, another Sunday, guys. I've got family and friends coming over for 4th of July. We're having a get together and cooking. I'm cooking. We'll be barbecuing and having drinks and having a good time. And yeah, how's everybody doing? That's really what I felt like coming on for, is to see how you guys are doing. It's not that I really had anything in particular to share. I'm just kind of sharing my day, my morning with you guys. Carrie's working and getting ready to come home, and I'm cooking. How are you guys doing? How's everybody doing? It's 4th of July weekend. Things kind of slow down. Happy Sunday. Tiffany says, I'm doing well. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, Tiffany. Make sure you're breathing. All right, guys, listen. I love you. What are you cooking for the holiday, Rebecca? Just basics like hot dogs, hamburgers, turkey burgers. I'm going to do some chicken breasts for those of us who are eating really healthy, and baked beans, potato salad, mac and cheese. Kind of like the barbecue basics, Tiffany. Not anything fancy. I went all out for Father's Day and cooked steak and shrimp and lots of yummy, yummy stuff for Father's Day. We had to get together. And so I went all out for Father's Day. So 4th of July, we're kind of chilling. It's my mother's birthday for the 4th of July. Capital E TVXX is the master certification the same one that we just had? No, it is a completely new program. It is an incorporation of ALPCC and a new master certification with spiritual leadership. So it is going to be different. So as soon as it releases, you'll see that. It's a comprehensive coaching certification that incorporates my entry-level coaching certification with a master level certification as well, capital E. I hope you're having a beautiful morning there. I'm in Sydney, heading to bed soon as it's late here. Hello, Aria. I hope I'm saying your name right, over in Australia. I hope you're having a great day. Good evening. Hope you have a good rest, sweetheart. And wake up refreshed. Astro Freak. What's Astro Freak say? Astro Freak Deuce. I'm doing well and getting ready for another family function in a few hours. All right, sweetheart. Enjoy your family function. I love you, Rashida. Yes. Wonderfully Made says, I've been feeling the pressure you talk about, Rebecca, feeling unhappy and lonely. Your videos have been a breath of fresh air. Sweetheart, we're praying for you. Praying for you. For comfort. Peace. There goes my garage door again. And the puppies are going crazy. Yeah. Hold on. Wonderfully Made. We're praying for you, sweetheart. Keep watching. Be encouraged. Lean into God. Talk to God. Diane Lewis, thank you for your advice. I had a great first date with a Mexican guy. Congratulations, Diane. Congratulations, sweetheart. I know when I talked about women opening up their options, of course, Black men had an absolute fit. But understanding that the majority of Black women are still only going to want to be with a Black man. So the advice I'm giving is for those women who need to be open so that they can attract love, right? The women who open up their mind and heart to that, more blessings to you, right? So you can be happily married and in love and live your best life. Amber says, thank you for coming on live, Auntie Rebecca. I woke up out of my sleep and started reflecting on upsetting memories. I needed your love, loving motherly talking by, ready to take on the day. Awesome, sweetheart. And I came on for you because I really didn't have anything to talk about. I really had nothing to talk about this morning. I'm just sharing my champagne, my rosé, my potatoes, and my eggs, and sitting over here cooking, guys. I really didn't have a message this morning. I was just coming on to kind of share my morning. Eugene Steele, yes, they did. There were many content creators who talked about that video, and they're still talking about it. People keep inboxing me and sending me the videos about my video and blah. I don't watch any of that stuff, guys. I do not pay attention to anybody's reaction videos to anything that I do. I just do what God puts on my heart to do and share from my own perspective of wisdom and life experience. And I don't have time to focus on what other people decide to do with my content. It's completely not even about me. So I mind my business. And guys, one of the things I've thought about recently is how social media, has created opportunities for anyone to express opinions. And one of the things that's so hard is that there's so many hurting people in the world. And you think about how many of those people who are online sharing are literally, just hurting so badly. I mean, oh God, the amount of pain that's going on in the world, and then the people who just turn on the camera and spew that, just are voicing and giving voice to so much pain and so much angst, and let's just make sure we're praying for them. I don't hold anything against anybody that's hurting. I understand that people are hurting really bad, guys. That's why I don't watch the reaction videos, and I don't tune into too much content online, because I just, I can read through the smoke and mirrors. I can read body language and feel the energy of things, and I know how much you're hurting, and people are online pretending and posturing and trying to act like there's something that they're not, trying to be or become something that they're not. But it's, when you're looking for answers and people tune in because they're so desperate for answers and desperate for solutions. So I pray for everybody. I'm praying for the world. I'm praying for everybody that's struggling, suffering, and hurting for sure. Let's see. Somebody said, I love, Amber, I love the Robin cooking. Thank you, sweetheart. I've been working on a cookbook for a while, guys. It's called Pretty Girls Can Cook. It comes from this idea I had because when I was dating Carrie before we got married, I didn't cook for him for the first 6 months that we were dating. And he told me later on, the first time he had my cooking was like at Thanksgiving, the year we met. And he was like, oh my God, he thought I was kidding and thought I was tricking him, that I had bought the food and put it in on plates, like to-go food, and put it on plates, that I was tricking him because he was like, I didn't know you could cook. I thought you couldn't cook. And I was like, pretty girls can cook too. So I have this cookbook that I've been working on for a while that's got some really, really great recipes in it that I'm going to publish to help women have some really great recipes to cook when they want to cook for people that they love. So yeah, pretty girls can cook too. Marcy says, I talked to God and last night woke up making exit speech to my boyfriend who lets me go Dutch on every date. Nope. Your content is empowering me to want better. Amen, sweetheart. Marcy, one of the things I've learned as a wife and a mother is that, we have so many different hats, so many different roles that we play. There's an article that I'm going to find, actually that our marriage therapist told me about, our couples therapist that Carrie and I have. He mentioned this article in one of our sessions one time, and I'm going to go look it up. Wrote it down on my notepad. I'm going to look it up. It talked about how many different roles women play and how much they have on their mind constantly with juggling so many different aspects of what we do. And men really have no idea, about the amount of overwhelm that we have inside of our head from being nurturers, being caregivers, the nature of how God created women and who we are from the aspect of our nurturing and catering nature. I'm not saying all women are like that. I'm just saying that that's how God made us in our essence, in our nature. And the article talks about just how much we're juggling and how much our brain is constantly juggling so much, Marcy. And, we were not built to carry the burden alone, financial burden, the burden of children by ourselves, the burden of just, paying bills, working every day, taking care of the home, homework, taking care of, and then on top of that, taking care of ourselves, staying sexy, staying pretty, staying, fit and healthy, and maintaining our mental health, and just all of that comes in with, being a woman. And yeah, Marcy, ain't nobody got time for that. Like at the end of the day, we're doing so much, ladies, that the reason God gave us men is for provision and protection and partnership. 3 P's: provision, protection, partnership. And provision is not just financial. Provision is spiritual. Provision is emotional. Protection is not just physical strength. It is emotional. It is spiritual protection, right? Men, when they are in their rightful position and they are leading as God built them to lead, will provide and protect and partner with you in a way that helps you to show up at your best, and you're helping him to show up at his best. So yeah, going Dutch on every date? No, ma'am. Is there anything in particular you wish you would have known or done in your late 20s heading into your 30s? Oh, DJ, that's a really interesting question. Guys, I've been married most of my life. It's when I got divorced at 30. I was married from 20 to 30. So if you want my opinion on what I would have done in my late 20s and in your 30s that I didn't do, first of all, I wouldn't have gotten married at 20. It's quite young. I didn't know who I was, what I wanted, where I was at, where I was headed, the calling on my life. I wasn't in tune with my gifts. I wasn't in tune with my greater purpose. So yeah, that led me down a decade. I was married for a decade from 20 to 30. and that wasn't that great, and got divorced at 30. So one of my advice to young women, based on my experiences, based on coaching clients and studying a lot of psychology, is, don't shut out love in your late 20s and early 30s. Be open for love. By the time you're having good life experience, and gaining wisdom and insight into who you are and to your own morals, standards, beliefs, faith, all of that, by between 25 and 30, you start coming into a place of where you really are ready to make more of a life partner decision. That being said, I think that young women in today's culture and society feel so much pressure to focus on the outer appearance because of social media and the pressures it puts on us to look a certain way, be a certain way. But don't forget to focus on your emotional, spiritual, and mental well-being, your faith, your mental health, your self-esteem, your confidence, healing, spiritual and emotional healing, so that you're not walking around bleeding all over people, including your friends and romantic interests. Healing from church hurt, healing from family, generational family and toxic issues you've inherited from your family. These are all things you need to be working on, so that you can show up at your best in your 20s and 30s. I would say that in my 20s and 30s, put a lot of emphasis and focus on God's purpose for your life, your gifts, your skills, your talents, to really dig into who God created you to be. When couples have come to Carrie and I for premarital counseling, or when their marriage is in crisis, what a lot of the time when you drill down, guys, the bigger issues is that people think that love is enough. They didn't do enough personal development and healing work prior to marrying someone. They just kind of fall in love and they think love's enough, and you get inside of this marriage and relationship, and it's going to hell in a handbasket. And one of the things, my husband's really, really, really great at marriage prep and marriage counseling, and I have never really liked it that much. People would hire us to work with them as a couple so that they have, work with another couple. And in that work, I know, more of my calling is towards singles. Because one of the things I don't like about marriage counseling is that the spouses, the two people in the counseling, I could never quite understand how it was such a struggle to get them to focus on themselves. It's so easy in a relationship to focus on the partner, to blame everything on the partner, if that makes sense. I'm still talking to Marcy. That it's like, oh, he's not this, he's doing that, he hurt me, he blah, him, it's him. And then the husband's over here, she's this and that, and it's just this constant like blame game and this zero accountability, and getting the two individuals to focus on themselves to show how much growth and how much needs to change in how you show up in the relationship, in the marriage. It's so hard because it's just so much pain, so many issues. Marcy, I don't know how I got over on this subject, but I'm talking about, in other words, I would work on myself, communication skills, personal development, healing, without losing your femininity, Marcy, without leaning too much into your masculine energy and becoming too ambitious, too driven, to where you really block out love in your 20s and 30s, because you don't want to do that. You want to just keep balance, and you want to focus on yourself to show up as the best that you can be, the most healed, spiritually aligned, healthy version of yourself in your 20s and 30s. Because I think that we can also tend to put too much emphasis on relationships, and we get in these relationships and these marriages and we're not ready for them. and they're not healthy. And we haven't done a great job of accountability. We haven't done a great job of vetting and making sure that we're holding ourselves accountable to our own personal development, and then also holding our partners accountable for personal growth and development as well. Relationships take a lot, marriages take a lot of work. They take a lot of building. People think that marriage is supposed to be so organic and easy, right? Just not true. Not true, guys. It takes a lot of emphasis. It takes a lot of intention. It takes a lot of work and pouring work and intention into your relationship, and into making it healthy and well balanced, and keeping that love alive and growing together. It takes a lot of emphasis. So I hope I answered your question, Marcy. I know that was long. Or was it DJ? DJ asked that question. Lisa says, hi from the UK, just came across your videos today. They have helped me decide and be comfortable with what I actually want, not worry about social pressures. Amen, love. Amen. Organically, Shani, it's too many hurt Black men and women out on the internet. It's sad that people hurting that bad, and it's Black women, men, but the women too. I've heard that. Men have come on and said, Rebecca, there's Black women online just hating on Black men. You know that's not me. I'm married to a Black man. I have 3 sons. I love Black men. That's not me. I know some people who aren't familiar with me took one video and can get confused by that, but that's not me. I love Black men, especially I love all Black men, but I love that we have wonderful Black men that are standing up in their positions as fathers, husbands, and leaders in our community and in our society. We applaud you, we honor you, and we need more of you. People are hurting, DJ. People are hurting. I feel like things got really dark in the last few years. I hope that Love Out Loud makes its way to Charlotte. We're coming to Charlotte, DJ. Make sure you sign up on our volunteer list for Charlotte, because we're going to build a team in Charlotte. And we're looking at bringing our first Love Out Loud conference to Charlotte in January. You guys are on our radar. So please stay tuned for Charlotte and make sure you sign up so we can start building a team up there with you, DJ. Okay? Amber, I want to create content, but I'm afraid of being that person that spews hurt and pain. I'm a wounded healer, so I want to speak from my experiences, but want to empower others to heal and love. So Amber, the best way to do that, sweetheart, is to make sure you're doing your work to heal. You want to be in therapy. You want to be taking coaching courses. You want to be reading books. This way you're always working on yourself, and then you're sharing from a place of love. You're sharing from a place of, hey, I may have been through these things, but I don't want you to have to go through those things too. So then it's not angst and unforgiveness. Do the work to heal and forgive so that your energy and your spirit as you create content and you share is coming from the right place. Okay? Intentions, you're like the mother I never had. Sweetheart, sweetheart. Thank you, thank you, thank you, sweetheart. I'm so grateful that God is with me and works through me in the way that he does to help people. Asha Jeremiah, how can I deal with loneliness as the only child, knowing my parents or aunt and uncle won't be on earth for long? It's upsetting because I'm still single. I want to be a wife, but not finding love. So Asha, I understand completely. You know, I'm an orphan. My sister, my mother, and my father are both gone, are all gone. And so I'm, you know, one of the things that I realized a while ago, sorry guys, I do have to put my potatoes on to cook. Hold on 1 second. One of the things I realized a while ago, Asha, is that some of my motivation for even marrying, dating, all of that, I was dating from a place of abandonment. I was, you know, marrying based from a lot of that pain of abandonment and grief and loss, and so there's no way around it, Asha. That's what I'm going to say to you. I had to eventually deal with my grief. I eventually had to heal a lot of my grief and do a lot of grief work to get over the death of my family, so that I was not making choices from that place of loneliness and pain and grief and loss, right? Because life and death is inevitable as a part of the life cycle. And so we can't avoid it, but you don't want to be dating from this place of, I don't want to be alone. I'm scared. My family's going to die. I'm a single, I don't have any siblings. You can't date from that place because that's not dating from a place of love. So it's about bringing it to a place of peace. And Asha, one of the best ways to invoke peace in your life is to pray and talk to God about it. God, help me. I don't want to be alone. Bring my life partner, bring my friends that will be closer than family, bring me my sisters that, sisters from a different mister. I have girlfriends that are like sisters to me. Asha, God has given me incredible friends, incredible support system. God is a provider, but ask and talk to God. Give your fears over to God. Lean into faith and love so that you can attract the right people into your life and date and attract friends from a place of love and compassion and kindness, not fear. Okay? Not fear. Jamisha, Ms. Pope, life is all too much for me these days. I've been binging your videos. Jamisha, honey, I tell people all the time, life comes at us fast and hard. Fast and hard. Anybody, guys, look, I'm over here letting my oil get hot. I'm talking to y'all. Anybody that acts like life is easy and that is not, it doesn't get messy and complicated, honey, they lying. They lying their butts off. They just faking and fronting. Rich people got problems. Pretty people got problems. Life is literally does not spare anybody, guys. Everybody's got struggles. Every single person has struggles, guys. Every single person. Don't let anybody or anything fool you. These social media streets, y'all, have people showing you a highlight reel of their life, right? Highlight reel. Showing you the best of the best when it comes to their life. Date nights and vacations and babies being born. They don't show you, depression. They don't show you sadness. They don't show you grief. They don't show you knockout, drag out fights. The nature of social media is to come on and show you the highlight reels, right? So that being said, it's so easy to feel like, my life sucks. I'm struggling. This is hard. Life is hard. Yes, it is. I tell people all the time, life doesn't become easier. We become tougher and we become more faithful. As we lean into peace, as we lean into love, as we lean into surrendering our lives to God and choosing love and peace and happiness every day over the burdens and the suffering of trying to do it by ourselves, is when we come into more ease and flow. But life keeps lifing, baby. Jamisha, life is going to keep lifing. If you're waiting for a moment where everything's going to be peaches and cream and everything's going to be amazing and no problems, fairy tale unicorns and rainbows, nope, not for me, not for any of you. We just get to a place of peace and love and ease where we begin to lean into faith that no matter what happens, you can hold on. The scripture says, peace that surpasses all understanding, right? So as you are able to lead into love, guess what? Hold on, guys. I got to put my potatoes in. For those of you guys who like to cook some potatoes, I cook extras and just put them in some salt water and put them in the fridge and save them for breakfast for a couple days. When I do make potatoes, I make extras so that way I don't have to chop up potatoes later. So put half of those in there so that they can start cooking, and then I'll save the other half for breakfast another morning. All right, those are gone. Good. You get those cooking, and y'all know I start cooking. Y'all don't let me forget my potatoes, okay? So yes, Jamisha, life is lifing, baby, and it's up to us to lean into our faith, lean into peace. God, this is all just too much. I invite you in. I lay these burdens down. I give it over to you. Please bring the solutions, bring everything that I need to deal with these problems, and I will be sure to give you the honor, right? I'll be sure to give you the honor, God. Give you all the honor for working things out in my life. But God, come in and handle it because this is just too much, right? Savon, hi Rebecca, I love you. I love you too, sweetheart. Shanae says, organically, Shanae, some women can't get one husband. You had three. You doing something right. Baby doll, listen. Now listen. See, now this is the difference between, we can talk about old school. And we know old school comes with all kinds of problems, all the traditional older stuff. But the difference is, and this will help some of y'all, I wasn't raised to be a girlfriend. I wasn't raised, I'm going to say it a couple times. I wasn't raised or taught to be a girlfriend. What do I mean by that? I wasn't allowed to date. You're going to get married. Well, if you are raised to believe that you're supposed to be married and not dating, dating is very short, because very quickly I'm looking at you like, well, what are we doing? Because the pressure would come in from my family, like, what you doing? Because you just can't be out here just dating. So you got to get married. So that's how I end up with 3 husbands, is that I married my boyfriends. Let's just keep it real. Wasn't allowed to date. That was date? Have sex before marriage? What? I was raised strict, y'all. My daddy was strict while he was being a whole hot ass mess. But my upbringing said you get married. So imagine if more of you said, I'm a wife. I'm supposed to be married. Every dating situation you went into, or any man that, was showing real true intentions towards you and you liked him too, you would be like, oh, well, I don't just date forever. Like, I got to get married. That's how you end up married. You require it. You want to be with me. You want to be around me, right? You want me to cook for you. You want to have sex with me. You want my vagina. You love my energy. You want my support, my love. Well, I need a ring on my finger, right? I need a ring on my finger, because that's the role that was role modeled in my life. My mother and father were married for 40 something years or something before they died. My grandmother was married her whole life to the same man. My aunts and uncles were married 40 and 50 years, almost 60 years before they died. All I knew in my role models was husbands and wives. And that may sound old school, because it is probably old school. But ladies, just imagine if you began to require marriage and not be afraid or shying away from requiring that. That's part of the breakdown of society now, is that everybody's just having sex. Everybody's just, out here doing whatever they want to do. And in the meantime, the family unit has broken down. The family unit has broken down, and people aren't getting married. People aren't staying married. So guess what? Society as a whole is suffering. And one of the reasons, I just put this on a comment on one of my videos today, one of the reasons that marriages and relationships are suffering so badly is because when you take God and faith out of the foundation of a relationship, God is love. If you remove God from the foundation of a relationship, and 2 people are not making God the focus of their lives and the relationship, it's going to hell in a handbasket before you know it. Because if you're not focused on love, you're not focused on forgiveness, you're not focused on grace, you're not focused on compassion, you're not focused on patience, you're not focused on any of that. When you are not focused on God, you're focused on ego, edging God out. Your ego is constantly trying to edge God out. So ego is saying, what about me? Ego is constantly, what am I getting out of this? Ego, 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 ego. This isn't fair. I didn't sign up for this. Why are you like this? Ego is constantly pumping us up. Constantly. Fear, pride, arrogance, impatience, intolerance, unforgiveness. They don't deserve it. That's what ego says. They don't deserve it. Ego, ego. How dare you? Right? That's ego. God is love. Love is kindness, patience, right? Tolerance, grace. So is it any wonder that marriage and relationships are suffering? How many godly people do you meet? Not just from a religious perspective, but how many people do you meet that are full of love? How many people do you encounter that when you have an encounter with them, you meet them and you know that they are full of love and kindness? Forget about religion. Just forget about religion for a second, guys, and just think about love and kindness. Love and kindness. How many people do you meet who are full of love and kindness? Oh, wait. How many people do you meet that their smile alone brightens up your day? Right? We know some people, right? I know some people. You know a couple people. But the majority of people in the world are not full of love and kindness. Think about it. Most Christians aren't full of love and kindness. They're too busy judging people. How are you going to be full of love and kindness? Be an example of love and kindness and you judging everybody. I'm just saying. Hi, Lagos, Nigeria. Hi, sweetheart. Look, I'm looking to come your way. I'm going to do a conference in Nigeria. Do a Love Out Loud conference in Nigeria. Who's coming if we come to Nigeria? We're about to come international, y'all. Our potatoes are doing good. I'm going to have to season them here in a minute. Hi, Rebecca. Can you explain the differences between conditional love and unconditional love? David, that's a great question. Of course, I'm going to think about clients. I'm going to think about myself. I think that all love, besides the love of God, is conditional. I'll say that from this perspective. Conditional love still means, like for me, okay, I'm going to make it real, David, for me, okay? I hope you're still on, David, and listening to my answer. I would not love and stay with Carrie or be in the same space with Carrie if Carrie abused me. Emotionally, physically, sexually, verbally. If Carrie was an abusive man, now my conditions for love kick in because I'm not going to tolerate being abused. Because God did not intend for any of us to be abused. So I'm not going to allow myself to be in a situation where I'm being hurt. That's conditional love. Unconditional love is the love of God. That's first of all God's love. It's unconditional no matter what. Unconditional love is me being able to look at Carrie and look at myself from all of our places of perfections and imperfections and flaws and all, and still see the good. Because that's what God does. He sees beyond our faults, loves us. Nothing can separate us from the love of God. I look at Carrie and can love him with an unconditional love, as long as he's not hurting me, right? To understand you are human. You are a man. You are going to make mistakes. You're going to hurt me, even if it's unintentionally. And still seeing the good in my hardest places in my marriage, David. I mean, like when I was ready to divorce Carrie, I left one year, went to Belize for a month. Y'all, I'm putting it in my new book. I went to Belize for a month, guys. I did not know if I could stay married to Carrie. I was hurting so bad. Our marriage, the first 2 years had not gone the way I expected. I was just being so, I was an enabler. I needed to do some more work on healing and my boundaries in marriage. And David, I left. I went to Belize for a month. And, when I sat down in Belize and I detoxed and I got into spiritual alignment. I'm a big strategic person, guys. I got out one of my notepads. Y'all know I'm famous for my little notepads. And I put a list on one side. I put 2 columns, David, and I put all the things that I hated about Carrie and that were horrible and that I just didn't expect, and that ego saying, I didn't sign up for this, right? And I put all that horrible junk and the stuff that was hurting me on the left side of the page. And then, David, I put a list of all his wonderful things and all the pros versus the cons, right? I just put all the great stuff about him. And the great stuff in that column, literally I had to turn the page to keep going with all the wonderful, good stuff about him that I absolutely loved. And I'm looking at the cons, saying these 4 or 5 things or whatever it was over on that side of the paper, and the side of this stuff over here that was made him so amazing, that I'd never met anyone like him. Oh my God, he's so great. Okay, so we got to work on the cons, but the pros are so amazing. I'm not going to give him up and my blessings because of these 3 or 4 or 5 things when there's 25 things over here that are absolutely so amazing. Because he's human, he's a man, he's not God, and neither am I. And okay, so in Belize, I came up with a plan. And I said, this is how we got to work on these things over here that are killing our marriage, absolutely killing it. I was killing it, he was killing it. We were just, the toxic junk we had carried in. Hold on one second, guys. Hey, Savvy, are you near the grocery store? Okay, do you know when you're going to be headed back this way? Sorry, guys, hold on one second. Oh, a couple hours. Okay. I'll ask Cap to stop. Okay, I gotta go. I'm still on my video. But I gotta go. I love you. I'll call you back. Okay, bye-bye. Sorry, guys, one of my sons. Yeah, David, I came home with a whole new plan. So I would say that that's like unconditional love in a human version, if that makes sense. I'm not God, I'm human too. But I came home and created a strategic plan with Carrie on how we were going to address and work on the stuff that wasn't working, if that makes sense. Because I wasn't willing to throw the baby out with the bathwater, David. I wasn't willing to block my blessings and throw my blessing away because there were some things about the blessing that needed to be healed, that were inherited from old relationships, from toxic family generational stuff. And one of the things I absolutely love about Carrie, guys, that attracted to me, one of the reasons I married Carrie is because he is always someone who's been willing to do the work. He's someone who's always been humble enough to say, yeah, I'm going to go to therapy. Yes, I'm going to get a mentor. Yes, I'm going to read these books. Yes, I'm going to take this course. Yes, I can always be better. I'm going to work at being better. And if that's what life and God requires of me to be a man, I'm going to humble myself and do what it takes to do the work to be better, the same as me. And I love that about him. I think that, ladies, if we could find that in more men, fellas, if you were just more willing to take the S off your chest and say, I'm not Superman, I'm human, I've been hurt, I've survived, right? Or even sometimes the things and the situations we're born into, have just not taught us the things that it takes to really thrive. And we're not really honest about the fact that, I'm honest enough to say my dad was anointed. He was so anointed. I inherited so much of my anointing from my father. So anointed as a father, but he had a lot of narcissistic tendencies. He was abusive in ways. My mother was a super enabler. I learned that from her. We haven't been born into the best situations, but that's no excuse. We can't just say, well, this is all I know. This is all we ever did. This is how my family is. This is how we do it. No, if you want better in life, you've got to make up your mind to say, I'm going to do better and I'm going to get better and I'm going to work at learning the skills necessary to navigate differently and have better results. I had to make up my mind to do that. I had to make up my mind. I had to look at my parents and say, guys, when I say our family was close, so close. We loved so hard. And, that's part of why the grieving for my family is so hard. because we loved so hard. But when I look at my family, I had to admit all their flaws. I had to be willing to look at my mom and dad and say, I don't want your marriage. I don't want your finances. I don't want your self-esteem. I don't want your lack of boundaries. I don't want to duplicate these results. I want better results in my life, which means I have to take all the good they gave me and I have to be willing to work on all the stuff they didn't have. I've got to change how I show up, my skills, my character, my habits, my behaviors, my mindset. I've got to make new choices in being able to show up differently because I want different results. I hope that answered your question, David. I'm not sure I did, but I hope I did. Aria, I haven't been dating long in the grand scheme of things, but the 2 or so years I have been on the scene has felt like a long time. I've met many bad characters, narcissists, and so on. Aria, there's going to be a lot of ups and downs with dating. You can get exhausted real easy. Take breaks when you need to take a break. But here's something, ladies, that I'm going to say, and you're not going to like it. I'm just telling you right now, you're not going to like it. So, ladies, what we don't like is the fact. Okay, hold on. Just stick with me here. Being a girlfriend and being a wife is 2 different things. Just like being, what did I call it on the other video about men who are, sissy boys versus husbands. It's, apples and oranges. So, truth be told, ladies, our culture has shaped who you're trying to date and turn them into a husband versus dating the men who are truly husband material and you helping to help them grow in that role as a husband and as your partner. So a lot of the time we are attracted to the men who are not good for us. We're attracted to the men who are sexy and fun and, got a 6-pack and, with the flashy car or just great sex or whatever it is that's attracting you to these non-husband material men. And the husband material men tend to get looked over. Real talk. Husband material men, you probably have a husband material man in your friend zone right now, ladies. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that because you look at the optics and the visuals and you're like, well, Rebecca, you have a black man. Rebecca, he's handsome. And Rebecca, Carrie is the bomb. He looks good. He's GQ'd out. He's this. You guys are a beautiful couple. Yeah. But it's not like Carrie looked like that when I met him. It's not like Carrie was GQ'd out before I met him. He hates when I talk like this. But it's real talk. He's a great guy, but he was also like the caterpillar who hadn't become the butterfly. I saw the core of who he was as his heart, his spirit, his gifts. Oh my God, he was so amazing. But how he dressed, he wore Creed. Now he smelled good. He was handsome. But in the process of our marriage, Carrie has glowed up just like me, right? Next level, wives upgrade men. This is the part women don't like. Wives upgrade men. Wife material women upgrade husband material men. Because your husband material men are not focused on being super sexy. And they're not on the dating apps with their chest out, all oiled up with a 6-pack, taking selfies in the mirror to post on a dating app because he's a whole whore who is just sleeping and knocking them down. And guess what? You fall into the trap. He's so sexy. Oh my God, he's so fine. Oh my God, he's so... Okay, yeah, but he's not husband material because husbands don't have time to do all that. And that's not their behavior. Hold on one second, guys. Hey, baby, I'm doing a video.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay, baby. I love you. Bye. So, yeah, husband material men are, you know, like caterpillars. They're not always going to be dressed to the nines. They may have a little 10, 15 pounds they need to lose. They eat out too much. Wives come in, start cooking healthy. Wives are the ones who stay on top of healthy eating and spiritual well-being and mental health, and that's our nature. That's who we are. That's the effect we have on men. That's our influence on men. So, I gotta get ready to get off here, y'all. Carrie Pope gonna be home. He's gonna be ready to eat brunch, and I'm not done cooking. So yeah, make some different choices. We don't like it because it doesn't feed ego. Ladies, you want to feed your ego. You don't realize so many women are so ego driven, just like men. Ego, 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 ego. You know, I want somebody that I want to be a power couple. I want to look the part. I want to, I want validation. I want a man to make me look good. I want to be able to show him off to my friends and family like, ooh, look at who I got. Your friends and family are third parties. Carrie and I have a brand new course. It's a marriage prep course. Foundations for Love for Forever. Listen, that's not how you build a foundation with someone. Aria says, happy to report I've been doing a lot of inner healing work to change my story, mindset, but at least reality. I had to surrender and focus on myself before the right person could enter my life. Amen, sweetheart. Happy Sunday, Rebecca. Leslie, so excited to catch you live. Sending you tons of love and light. Thank you, sweetheart. Look, y'all, I got to come through here. Aria, I'm now in a relationship with a guy who is straight out of my dreams. I'm happy and feel so cared for. Everything aligns. Best of all, though, I look at myself in the mirror and respect who I see. Amen. Love it. That's a love report. Yolanda, what is Love Out Loud actually, and when and where in Georgia? Yolanda, go to our website, joinloveoutloud.com. Joinloveoutloud.com. Go to our website. We are deploying street teams around the globe who are literally going to be sowing love and light into our communities. Sowing love and light into our communities. Okay? So that's what we're doing. We are actually going out. We have corner teams that have signs that will have love and signs that are inspiring love for people driving by, like honk for love, you are loved, right? So we're smiling, we're showing signs for love. Then we have community teams who are actually greeting people one-on-one as people are in the public, coming out of stores, on the street, etc., giving them affirmation cards that give blessings of love and affirmation on the card, let them know about the Love Out Loud mission, pray for them, hug them if that's what God opens the door to do with the person that you meet. So our community teams are meeting people in person, one-on-one, more in group settings, out on the street, and then our corner teams are holding signs encouraging love. That's it. Go to our website, sign up, because we're sowing love into our communities. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. We need all of your support and donations, guys, to get out here and sow love. We're launching in Atlanta, Georgia. Our first in-person training is the 22nd, Yolanda, the 22nd. If you can come to Atlanta for in-person, then we're deploying into other cities as we continue to grow. Howie G's, somebody says you have to be skinny too. Me again. Me. Don't let Julia fool you. Me again. You do not have to be skinny to be loved. I don't know where your comment is because I know I've been talking for a while and the comments been going down. Okay, so I don't know what you're commenting about, but she says you have to be skinny. You know them people on 600 Pound Life or whatever that show is? They all got boyfriends and husbands. Have you ever noticed that 600 Pound Life women on that show all have boyfriends and husbands? You do not have to be skinny to be loved, boo. Bye. It's not true. Get off social media. I challenge so many of you to stop tuning in to these toxic podcasts, shows, bloggers, all these men spewing and women spewing hate and disdain and what you gotta be and what you should be and what you can't be and not narrow them got a husband or wife. How many of them got husbands or wives? But you're a whole expert on what it takes to be married. Okay. You hear what I'm saying, honey? No. Howie G, since you're one of the few women that understand the male mindset, I listen to you a lot. Thank you, sweetheart. Howie, I appreciate you so much. To all my male followers, I love you and appreciate you so much. I understand, like, it's trippy to me, and I'm going to say this and then I'm going to get off here. When I do a video that kind of, is critiquing the men who are not showing up in our society as husbands, fathers, and leaders, who are not in their rightful place trying to be the best that they can for the benefit of our community, the men go crazy. But if you're a good man and you're doing your work and you're showing up to the best of your capability as God has ordained you to do for our community, I'm not even talking about you. So what the fellas fail to realize is when they're triggered and going off in my comments, guess what? A hit dog will holler, because I'm not even talking about good men. I'm not talking about the stand-up wonderful men in our community. I'm talking about the dudes that are losers. That's who I'm talking about. That's all I'm talking about. So guess what? If that's not who you are, then I'm not talking to you. And I never understand that, Howie. It's kind of like, wait, I'm not even talking about the good guys, so the good guys aren't triggered. It's your toxic, hurting, crazy dudes who get triggered when I come on and do a video about men and they don't like it. You outing yourself. You're outing yourself. Pretty much. Because the good guys know, I ain't got no problem with this. I ain't got no problem in this area. I'm good. Rebecca ain't talking to me. She's not talking about me. Sure not. Anyway. Capital E, I find myself passionate about a project than not passionate. It's like I want to find what really makes me tick. Any suggestions? Capital E, ask God. Now, it's going to be a process, capital E. You ask God. God, I invoke greater purpose on my life. God, guide me to exactly what is meant for me. Guide me for my next steps. Order my steps and show me. Open the doors that are meant for me. Close the doors that are not meant for me. And guide me into my greater purpose and calling, into spiritual alignment. And I will be obedient into what you guide me to do. Now, that's going to initiate a process, capital E. One thing will lead to the next, but keep following, right? It's a path. It's not a destination. It's a path. Okay? Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Naomi. Any plans to come to Philly? Eventually, we're coming to Philly. My PR team, my events team, they making plans. We're coming to city near you. Please sign up if you're in Philly for our Philly street team so we can get it going up there. Naomi, how to break a scarcity mindset. I see that it is blocking me. There's 2 books, A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson, Naomi, and A Course in Miracles Made Easy by Alan Cohen. Those 2 books will show you the true nature and essence of who God is and then who you are in God to start to begin to heal the scarcity mindset. Okay? Essay, how do you deal with jealousy and envy from friends and work colleagues when you're just trying your best? Girl, haters gonna hate. Haters are gonna hate. Haters are gonna hate. Real talk. Haters are gonna hate. There's no way around it, essay. If you want to be great, you want to live your best life, haters are gonna hate. There's no other advice I can give you except to accept it for reality and what it is and keep it moving. Because you can't change it. You just got to get around people who ain't going to hate. People who got their own goals and ambitions and success and doing their best and healing. And they showing up in their best life with confidence, self-esteem, blessings, and expecting God's abundance on their life. And then they ain't got time to hate on you because they got their own life going on. Guys, I got coffee in one hand, my champagne in the other. This lady is also skinny too. That's why she doesn't have problems with me. First of all, me again, I ain't skinny. I ain't been skinny a day in my life. Ever. My daddy said I came out the womb with thunder thighs, honey. I've never been skinny. I may not be obese, me again, but I'm not skinny. And you, like I mentioned again, 600-pound live women are married with boyfriends and stuff. So, yeah, if anything, you're not confident, you're hurting, honey. You got to get to the root of the emotional eating, get to the root and heal the root issues around the weight. Weight is emotional and spiritual. It's very spiritual. You can have all the trainers and nutritionists in the world, but if you don't deal with the anxiety and the pain and the emotional eating, I am not a stranger. I'm constantly working on healing my emotional eating, healing anxiety, working on it, right? I refuse to give up, but that's why I'm a 10-12 and not an 8 or, an 8. I ain't never been an 8 a day in my life. I've always been a double digit. 10-12 is right where I stay. So I'm not skinny by any stretch. And I love food. Why can't I be one of those people who just doesn't even like food? I don't understand. Carrie could take food or leave it. He don't even care about food. Me? I'm like, oh, this is good. I love food. I don't understand. I'm like, how are people so skinny? I don't get it. I like food. Anyway, Tiffany, Rebecca, I just started, and me again, listen, sweetheart. I'm praying for you. I feel your pain. I know exactly what you're saying. Believe me, I know exactly what you're saying. The pressures that are put on us to be perfect, to be skinny. I feel it too. I go on Instagram. Sometimes I just have to log out all these skinny women and size 2s and 4s and 6s. And I'm like, I ain't never been that a day in my life. And I look at them and I start to become envious and I start getting stuck in the comparison trap. And I'm like, oh, I just want to be a size 8. I want to be a size 6. I'll look good in anything. And then I have to remember, Rebecca, you have a great life. I have a wonderful life. God, thank you for my life. Thank you for this body that has served me, that has carried me to this point in my life. Yes, you can lose weight. Me again, you can lose weight. You can be healthier. It's God's will for you to be healthier. But start doing the work to heal the true root issues of the weight, honey. That's what I have to keep doing as well. I'm praying for you. My heart goes out to you. I know the pain. I know the suffering. You're not alone. Okay? You're not alone. There's a course I have that's going to release again. All the courses are closed, guys. FYI. All my courses are closed. We'll let you know when they open up one by one. We have a program called Bait Weight. And me again, it goes into the psychological, the spiritual, and the emotional sides of weight and losing weight. Had a lot of women lose a lot of weight going through that program with me. Okay? Tiffany. Rebecca, I just started doing healing work with my new life coach. How do I make sure that I get the most out of therapy because I haven't had success with other therapists? That's a really good topic. I'm going to do a video about how to pick the best therapist and how to get to a therapist that can really work with you. That's a separate video. But one of the things I notice with therapists is you got to find the right therapist, right? If something's not working, you don't feel that vibe from the very first session that they're listening, they're engaged, that they're really trying to help you. Keep going. Keep interviewing therapists. I think you have to interview therapists. Tiffany, don't settle on just one if you don't feel like you're making strides and getting some growth and getting a lot out of it. It's got to be the right vibe, the right relationship that's necessary for you. All therapists are not created equal either. Am I almost to the end? Capital E. What's that covering called that you're wearing? Where you get it from? This is one of my mini little kimono robes. Guys, this is my uniform at home, even when I go out. I wear these all the time. I wear these over shorts, jeans, everything. These are little kimono robes. I got this one from Amazon. I'll put a link in the comments when we get done with the video for you guys to get a link to my kimonos to where I get some from. Okay? I'll put a link. Everyone doesn't have the same heart as you. I know, sweetheart. Okay, let me come. Oh, guys, sending healing vibration to you at Me Too. Thank you. We need to be sending our love and light to Me Too. Praying for you, sweetheart. I've been working on fitness and lifestyle affirmations. Yours truly, Toya. They really work. They really do. Positive affirmations, mindset, discipline. Yeah. I appreciate you, Miss Rebecca. Thank you, sweetheart. Anyone remember the names of the books you just mentioned? It is A Course in Miracles Made Easy by Alan Cohen. I'll put the links to those in the comments as well when we get done with the video. And A Return to Love by Mary Ann Williamson. I'll put a link. Should I give a chance to a good man without a stable job? I mean, listen, a man who is not stable in his income and not stable in being able to actually take care of himself isn't ready to take on a wife and potential family. That's something to keep in mind. Being a husband is different than just being a boyfriend. Being a husband is different than just being a friend. Being a husband is literally being in a calling to say, I am taking on a wife and potential children to provide, protect, and partner. A man, in my experience, a man who is not quite yet financially there or ready to do that, he won't even allow himself to show up as a good husband because he's got issues in the self-esteem that comes around. Like, men have a thing. Men are built differently than us ladies. We don't understand, like, their mentality, their standards for being a good man and how they see themselves really matters. And so I've learned that even when I tried to be in relationships with men who were not stable yet, and I'm like, I got you, we'll do it together, we can rebuild, we can do. Doesn't work because they know they're not ready for that based on where they're at in life. Just my experience. Anyway, guys, I gotta run. I gotta finish breakfast. I love you guys. I'm gonna finish cooking my brunch. It's 1:11 when I just looked at the clock. All right, my angel numbers. Blessings in abundance. Make sure you sign up for the marriage prep course. Make sure you get the link to the books I'm going to put in the comments, and make sure you join Love Out Loud. Join loveoutloud.com. Okay. Hey, Auntie, happy holidays. T-Pope, hey, baby. All right. Click the links down below to get signed up for everything. I love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.